I am ready to change this windshield, and if you look at it you'll see, well, you can't really see what I'm looking at, but it is really in pretty good shape. But the scratches that are on it are very minor, they really don't bother me. But these hairline cracks, I don't know if you can see these or not, little bitty ones up there, and there's a bunch of them here. It's got some age on it. It might be an original because it's only 1/8 of an inch thick, and the replacement ones are like 3/16 thick, if I recall, when I was doing my research before I picked one out and bought it. So I am a little concerned if I hit a bird or if a rock comes up off the highway or something, this one may not hold up as well as a new one, because I don't know. I've only had the bike about 3 years, but the bike is 30 years old. I don't know if this windshield's original or not. If it is, then it definitely needs to be replaced. So let's go ahead and do that. I watched a video on YouTube, and I'll put a link up if I don't forget to that video. That was a quick, nice demonstration from a custom shop that replaced one, and they made it very simple directions, so I'll have to add his video. Let me get this camera mounted here, and I'm going to show another reason why I want to change it. I don't think it looks bad, but I like the look of the other one better. I've seen them at bike shows. This one, the original, it just has this sloped up. It's kind of curved and slopes up, a little bit shorter. And the new one has this sloped back look to it. I'm going to lay it up there and just show an idea of what that difference is, which we can't really see too good, but because it's going to lay in there a little bit different when the old one's out of there. But that's kind of an idea of what the difference is. This one is sloped back and it's a little bit longer, and I just think it has a neater look for me, for my personal preference. I did read on a what do you call it, a forum. Some people were complaining that either if you're real tall, when you're climbing on the bike, you're going to hit your helmet on that taller windshield. So I'm not tall, I'm only 5'8", so that may not be a problem for me. And then the other thing is these things here might hit it. So I don't even know if the handlebar is adjustable for up and down. I'm assuming it is. It was on my 1200 Goldwing. We'll see. I only watched the video one time on that demonstration. I'm going to see if I can do this as quickly and easily as that guy did. It was pretty quick. So we'll start with right here. Lift this adjustment, height adjustment. There's one of these on each side. Lift that up, and then unhook the rubber boot all the way around. It's got little catches on it. I just pulled this off and put it back on to see what I was getting into before I started the camera. When you go to put this back on, this piece right here, let me move the camera just a bit. This piece right here has like a hollow place inside there, and that has to hook onto this little tab right here. It's a little bit, I had to play with that for a minute to get that to, you know, stretch out the bottom of this and get that to hook on there good. Anyway, pull the boot back, and then there's a screw right in here I got to move the camera and get it over here to show where that screw is. And before we do that, we're going to unhook this little piece of trim right here. Just pull down on this and unhook it. It's got a little spring in there that hooks onto something in there. Pretty self-explanatory how to unhook that, get that off of there. Now back around to the front side, we'll see that screw that we got to take off. Right here, that's just to get this trim off. I noticed when I was taking that screw out, it was riding against this trim, so I had to push the trim and hold it out of the way with my thumb and work the screw out of there so I'm not scratching the side of this. I need to paint this motorcycle anyway, and I just don't want to scratch it any worse than what it is. Let's get this off on the other side. The next step is to unhook these off of where they go on there on both sides and lift this off. Now on that other video, he had to slide it to the left. Apparently it's got hooks in there that you slide it to the left to put it on, you slide it to the right to get it off. And I'm working it that way, but it's not coming off yet. This has different trim than what his had. This is the original trim from Honda with the brushed aluminum. He had the chrome piece and I ordered that chrome piece. I want that. It's a replacement for this. It's shiny chrome and it's got louvers in here. I don't know that you need them. I guess some models might use them. Anyway, this one, you just have to unhook these. You just have to get your fingers under there, mess with it, lift it up and pull it out, and these just snap out. So his slides to the right to get it off. Mine doesn't, but maybe mine will when I get that new chrome piece. So we just go on ahead and take these screws out, and I'm under the impression that the 3 in the middle are one style and the 2 on the outsides are another style. Now these are a bigger screw. So number 2 screwdriver is what I took these out with. Number 2 is a 1/4 inch. Number 3 is 5/16. I'm going to go get one. Yeah, 5/16 on a number 3 screwdriver, and number 1 is 3/16. Number 2 is a 1/4 inch. They don't say that on the screwdriver, so most people don't know that. This windshield more than likely has been replaced before. At least it's been out of here before, because the screws, this screw here is damaged a little bit, so is this one. Yeah, it's got that little thing there. I'm going to leave the middle one in and take that one out last. The screws appear to be the same. The difference is the depth of these little cups that they go through. One in my right hand is shorter than that one. This one's on the outside edge. So if you had all 5 of them out at the same time, you would see that you got 2 of one and 3 of another. So if you got them mixed up, that's an easy way to figure out how they go. Well, this should be ready to come out. All I got to do is hold on to it while I get this one out of there. And set this one down where I can grab it easy. And of course, it would just be the reverse of that to put the new one on. I'm running into a little something here. Let's see if I can get the camera close up on it that I'm a little bit concerned about. And it's on both sides. This rubber mat that goes across the front that the windshield sits on has like a recessed area. It's got a flat and then a ridge on this piece here, and there's a place right here where some glue was, where this was glued down, and it's not glued down anymore. It came loose. Well, apparently over the years the rubber has kind of changed its shape a little bit, and this obviously the ridge doesn't need to, this is flat across the top, so this ridge needs to ride on the outside of that and be glued down, and it doesn't want to stay there. So in my particular case, I think I'm going to try to glue that back down with some what do you call it, contact cement, because that's the only thing that'll work quickly. Silicone will take forever to dry. Contact cement works pretty quick. I'm going to put some on here and glue this back down on both sides, both corners. My favorite contact cement that I use on automotive, almost never use it on gaskets, probably never, is this 3M black weather strip. It's expensive, but it used to be yellow and they called it gorilla snot, and they used it on gaskets, and it was terrible stuff to try to get off. That's before silicone became popular. I'm dating myself. This was 40 years ago. Anyway, you can get this in different colors, mostly black and yellow, but that's my favorite contact cement. And of course brake cleaner, from this one's from O'Reilly's, that I'm going to clean the surface where I'm going to put it. Got to be careful with this around painted surfaces, it'll damage paint. Contact cement, you got to get it where you want it, press it down, pull it back off, let it air dry. Putting the cap back on the bottle, on the tube. Doesn't have to air dry long. I already did the other side. I'm going to go ahead and put that one on tight now. It has to air dry a little bit, especially out in the sunlight. Okay, that's done. I forgot to mention the slide adjustment is no longer going to slide. so well. Apparently I have to pull these out, or pull this up so I can get these corners down in here on both sides. So I'm going to put these in. I'm just going to snug them down a little bit because I read somewhere that you can't slide this. With this new thicker windshield, it won't slide, so you have to put it where you want it. And that's where it's going to stay. And if you need to change it, you'll have to loosen these up. So we'll just snug them down a little bit till I find out where I want it before I put the trim on it. I think I'm ready to tighten all this down. I've adjusted it about as low as, since it's a taller windshield, I'm going low with the adjustment. And I want it about as low as I think I can get away with, so I don't have any issues putting these things back on underneath this corner here. I think that's about where I'm going to be. It's not, it could go lower, but I don't want to have, like I said, trouble with those things fitting underneath there. I need to have a little bit of room. Before I tighten everything down, here's what I just noticed. I'm going to have the same amount of corner of new windshield underneath this louver looking thing here. I'm going to have the same amount of corner on each side, on both sides. I want it to look the same. And you can just loosen up these three in the middle and the one on the other, on one end, and just slide that end up and down until they both look like they're pretty much even, and then start snugging it down. I'm hoping that that's a good way to do it. Looks good to me. The handlebars do hit. About that far. So, need to see. I know these don't rotate on the handlebar because they're kind of locked into a notch, but I'm going to try to see if I can lower the handlebar just a little bit. I don't know if I can or not. I want to try. But otherwise, I like the looks of it. I like the looks of it a lot. Let me get this off of there. I don't know if I'm going to leave this little sticker on there or not. It says Slip Streamer. That's the brand name. Yeah, that'll peel off. I'm pretty sure I'll probably take that off. I'll go ahead and put my Honda trim back on there. It's not in bad shape, but I still like the chrome one better. And I can get chrome caps to put on the back of these mirrors, or I should say the front of these mirrors, or I can buy whole mirrors that are chrome plated, but those mirrors are pretty pricey, so I don't think I'm going to go that route. We'll see. Just do one little thing at a time on it. Don't forget to hold these plastic things out of the way. These things right here, hold that out of the way so your screw isn't riding on it. The washer from the screw, that'll cut the paint on it. When you're putting this back on, you get your thing here snapped onto place. Pull this adjuster lever back down tight. That's going to pull this front end tight there. and then position all of this. And snapped in on the bottom, and then you gotta go on ahead and carefully get all of your lip work in its place all the way around, hooked in. And like I said earlier, I had a little bit of an issue. Nothing serious, just a little bit. Do this one on camera. Had just a little bit of a problem getting this one to hook onto that. Had to stretch on it and pull, because it would look like it's on there, but it wasn't. It would come back off. So you just gotta get that hooked on there. Well, since this is an aftermarket windshield, and it is thicker and it's longer, and this is the long one that slopes back, the handlebars do hit it, so I'm going to go ahead and add to the video whatever I have to do to try to alleviate that problem. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show on here whatever I wind up doing. If I can find a way to do it, I may not be able to. I found out that these brake things, they do adjust. At least the brake does on the right hand side. But I was pretty sure it didn't. Maybe my 1200, maybe they did not adjust. I don't remember anymore. It's been a long time. But these will adjust. Pull that rubber cap off of there, just this one here, and it'll adjust with Allen wrench. But what I did here, I pulled these covers off. You know, they just snap on. Snaps onto the handlebar cover there, and then this one here, it just hooks on, and then got these snaps that plug into these grommets here. So they just pull off. So I loosened these up, 12 millimeters. I loosened all four, and then I snugged one of them down just enough so that I can move it around. I push it all the way to this side. It doesn't hit. Let's see if we can go up just a hair higher. Okay, we're still not hitting right there. So you can either adjust this alone, or you can adjust these a little bit, or both, to find your happy medium. I'm going to hold this thing in one spot, and I'm going to tighten down another screw. Or at least snug it down hand tight so that it'll stay while I double check, make sure I've got everything where I want it. When I had that one not hitting, this brake cylinder was still hitting over here, and it still is right now. Move it right there, I think. Anyway, you got the idea. I'll go on ahead and finish that up for myself. That's it for installing that that kind of windshield that slopes back like that. You will have to, more than likely, adjust your handlebars or the brake cylinders and clutch cylinder on the handlebar. Thanks for watching.